team, back again, Saliba Community Series. My very good friend, Ian Hawkins. Thanks so much for hopping in.
You're welcome, mate. Thanks for having me.
We've been friends for a very long time, but started off as a more business relationship. So tell us a little bit about what you do in the business.
So I do personal coaching. So it's anything from business owners, as we know. I work with people in corporate, but more recently I've been working more in that sporting landscape. Did a fair bit of that before we hit pandemic, and things sort of changed through that process, but getting myself back into that space, working with some young athletes and with our local club as well, which I know you've got a lot to do with.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that. We've had a fortunate opportunity to work directly with you, obviously from a personal level, and changed my life from that perspective, but then had you in the office and in the business, working with people in that space. What is it you try and focus on when you're working with people to, inspire growth?
So the most important thing is just finding what works for you. So one of the key things is that it's not about me telling you what to do. It's not about here's a system, let's plug that in. It's finding out what do you do really well, how do you do it, and let's find a way to make that even better. Most of the time, as you know, it's me asking you good questions so you can come up with the answer. So a lot of what I do is empowering people to help them realise that everything they need is there. It's just about maybe pulling it all apart and putting it back together in a little bit of a different way so that they can navigate that much easier.
Yeah, it was really amazing working with you because you pretty much, I worked out the problem, but it was you guiding me down that path and helping me find that out for myself. Anyone can tell you what you need to do, but you have to work it out internally, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's, there's a lot of coaches out there that are telling people what they need to do, and that annoys me because I've been down that path, I've been coached by people like that, I've fallen into the trap of them repeating that process, but ultimately, who am I or who are you to tell anyone else what to do? It's just providing a different perspective and opening up for a different way of doing things. And there's always solutions that you hadn't thought of, and there's always new paths that will unlock something that you maybe didn't even know was the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so tell us about the next stage, some really exciting sort of growth opportunities for you, going back to what you're truly passionate about in that sort of sporting space. And Normanest Eagles, the football club, that's a club that we've been sponsoring for over 4 years now. You're doing some work with them. Talk us about where you're taking your business.
Yeah, so after the pandemic hit and I'd done a stint there at the Bulldogs, I'm like, I'm not going to chase that again because I'll just let that come to me. And it's just funny, I've just been having more parents asking me to work with young athletes. At the same time, I was volunteering my time at the club just to maybe fill some of those gaps around how do we actually get the best out of a child in a way that they come back and they're competitive. So part of it was actually helping the club set up paths so they understand that it's not about, when you sit on the sideline all the time, right? Parents screaming and getting really worked up, and it's like you can still be really encouraging and really passionate and still be hyper competitive, but doing so in a way that's going to work for you, it's going to work for the child, and it's going to work for the team. So helping them set up values similar to what we did, so that everyone knows that this is the direction we're heading, and then it gives children, they feel control of what they're doing, and whether it's a young athlete or an older athlete, when people feel in control of their destiny, and that's when magic happens and you get awesome results.
Yeah, and for the amount of clubs that we support and sponsor and been involved in, I'm yet to see something like this, and it's really exciting to see it coming from the top down. So the club is actually employing it and actually having this conversation, filters it through the committee, through the parents, and that goes into the kids. Instead of trying to work from the kids up, typically the parents can sometimes be the problem, right?
Absolutely. So I did some coaching the coaches around some of these philosophies to help them. It's a more enjoyable experience for the coach as well. And then that's the other thing that we're talking about now with the club is some parent education. Because as parents, we just want the best for our children, right? We want to know that we're doing the right thing. So it's not about telling anyone they're doing a bad job as a parent. It's just maybe some counterintuitive ways that we can change how we approach it that make it far more enjoyable for everyone concerned. And for me personally, and we talk about this at the club as well, it's like we want to make sure each child comes back the next year. We all know the value of working in a team environment. You know it here at work, everyone knows in their work environment, and especially in sport, there's just something magical about having a team experience that's really positive and bringing those kids back so that they can enjoy the benefits of not just the physical well-being, but what that does for them from the community and the social aspect.
Absolutely. And like knowing what I've known about you for the time that we've known each other, you've been passionate from day one, but the conversations that I've had with you around this particular topic, I can see it's really deep down exactly what you want to be doing, and I'm so excited to see your business go through this transition, and so excited for the club, and not just Normanhurst Football Club, but any other clubs out there that are starting to consider this as an option. Mental health, well-being, all that sort of stuff is definitely forefront of a lot of people's minds. Instilling that in the kids now becomes really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we can start at that younger age group in particular and have that flow through to really healthy adults. And I'm passionate about this because it's been my own experience. And getting horribly wrong as a sporting parent. Having one child that not even into sport, who I push too much, another one who just absolutely loves it, and then learning just some of the nuances of actually helping him to enjoy it the most and get the best out of himself. And just seeing how that's impacted them in their, like outside of their sporting life, and how that's helped them to be successful in other areas. It's a holistic approach that works on so many levels.
Of that. We're really looking forward to the next phase of growth for you. Thank you so much for what you've done for me, the company, and the growth of the business, and looking forward to many more years together.
You're welcome, mate. Thank you.
Too easy. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.